In this video, I'm going to show you how to use your calculator to find cumulative probabilities using the binomial distribution. So we're starting off by recognizing that a lot of questions are going to have inequalities in your probability statement. So for example, if you're looking for working out the probability that your variable x is less than or equal to 1, then that's just a matter of working out the probability that x is 0 plus the probability that x is 1. Now, because there's only a couple of values in this range, which is quite narrow, it's easy to do just by doing these two examples. But if your range gets a lot larger, such as x is less than or equal to 6, then you wouldn't want to be working out 7 different values from 0 to 6 and adding those together. So instead, we're using a function on your calculator that does these probabilities cumulatively. So for example, if we want to work out the probability that x is less than or equal to 6, given x is a binomial distribution with 10 trials and 0.3 for your value of p, then there's a particular function in your calculator that can do that in one fell swoop. So you want to effectively be following the same directory in your calculator as you did in the previous video, except rather than choosing binomial PD, you're instead going to binomial CD, which I think you have to scroll down to get to in your calculator. So menu, distributions, which I believe is option 7, and then it's binomial CD, and then variable, and you're led to this page here. Okay, CD stands for cumulative distribution, so the C should jog your memory that it's cumulative there, rather than single valued. Right, so these are the values that you type in order to get this probability here. X is 6. Bearing in mind that 6 is what you get if this is a less than or equal to probability only, okay? If this becomes a strict inequality, then you've got to choose a certain different value in order to work out what that would be as a less than or equal to. So I might make a note of that. So this is for working out the probability that x is less than or equal to some value. Okay, that's what it does there. And then pressing equals is going to give you the desired value, and maybe it will show you what it is in a second. Okay, now there's another way of working out this probability without your calculator, and that involves looking up the formula book, the blue book that you're going to get in an exam, were you to sit one. So I'm going to show you briefly what that's going to look like, so you can have a little look at that. Okay, so here's your blue formula book. Now towards the back, it's going to be giving you a bunch of different binomial tables here. I think they're here. Yes, here we are. Okay, I can find the top of them. Okay, so this is page 29 of the formula book, and it gives you all these different values in tables for different values of n and p. So you can see down the side here, you've got different values of n, and it skips over a fair few of them, but it's any question that requires it will have the correct values in. And then along the top here, you've got different values of p, but you'll notice only up to 0.5. And then values of x appear down this column here. So if you want a cumulative probability, it involves looking up a single number in this table. So the one that we wanted was where n was 10, which is this bottom table here. And then your value of p was, I've forgotten now, it's 0.3, that was right. So you find 0.3, this is this column here. And then you want the probability that x is less than or equal to 6. So if I stick in the same column here, then it looks like when x is 6, the value here cumulatively is going to be 0.9894, like that. So that value there. Okay, that should be the same number that your calculator is going to give you. Okay, so it's worth knowing that that table is there. There are certain instances where you're going to need to use the table rather than your calculator, particularly if values in your distribution are missing. You're not going to know what to type in otherwise. Okay, so that's what the calculator does and what the table does. Both of them are cumulative. Let's move on. Okay, so if we're working cumulatively, I'll rewrite down what we're supposed to be looking for, which is this kind of probability. Anything that's not written in this form, you've got to be able to turn into a cumulative probability or some combination of those things. So if we've got 20 trials and 0.4 for our value of p, then this probability can be done straight away because this is of the desired form. And using your calculator, you can get this number here. But if it's x is strictly less than 6, you've got to think about which numbers in the range of 0 to n you're then allowed to have. And it's clear that if you're strictly less than 6, that means that you are less than or equal to 5. Because this captures the same range of integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, that this interval captures as well. So turning it into this form gives us a number that we can type in, and that gives us that probability there. If x is bigger than or equal to 15, then again, let's think about turning this into some combination of less than or equal to's. So for this range, we're allowed 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, because our value of x stops at 20. But that means that we're not allowed numbers that are 14 and below. So that's 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 14. 14 being the last number that you're not allowed. So if we can do this probability, which is a less than or equal to chance, we can then subtract it from 1. So now we're going to write that the probability that x is bigger than or equal to 15 is 1 minus, because that's the opposite chance, x being less than or equal to 14. Okay, and I think initially starting out, writing out lists of integers like this is going to maybe help you. So that's that one, 1 minus this chance, this one is got from your calculator, and then that's the remaining sum. Okay, single values can also be done cumulatively as well, as long as you know what to do there. So if you think about just having the value 6, and we're doing that in terms of less than or equal to, then that's going to be the chance that x is less than or equal to 6 minus all the ones below 6 which we don't actually want. So that's the chance that x is less than or equal to 6 minus the chance that x is less than or equal to 5. Okay, and that's going to hold in general, isn't it? If I've got some value that I want to be equal to, then it's the chance of being less than or equal to that number minus the chance of being less than or equal to 1 less than that. So maybe we'll put that as a general rule here. So the chance that x is equal to n is the chance that x is less than or equal to n minus the chance that x is less than or equal to 1 less than this, which is n minus 1. Okay, and then both of these can be got from your calculator. Okay, and then that's the chance for it there if you type it in. Bigger than 20, so that's going to be 21 and bigger, 21, 22, up to 25, because that's our n. The ones we don't want then are 0 up to and including 20 this time. So this chance turns into this, 1 minus the chance that x is less than or equal to 20. Again, you can work that out in your calculator if you want to, but for now we're just trying to get this in terms of these guys. And then an inequality in between two numbers can be done similarly, normally using some kind of subtraction. So between 6 and 10, inclusive on the 10 side, not inclusive on the 6 side, means the numbers you're allowed to have in this interval are 7, 8, 9, and 10, which means I can do 0 up to 10, which is this probability here, and then I don't want 0 up to 6, which stops before we hit the 7. So that's the one that we take away. Okay, it says here in the box here as well. X can be 7 to 10, so we want up to 10 with everything up to 6 excluded. Okay, great. And again, you can type these into your calculator and work out a probability there. Okay, if you want some practice on these, use the slides to look through and do some yourself. Write down the probabilities in terms of cumulative probabilities. And as an optional extra, you can actually type it into your calculator and work these out, but that's not expected of you. Okay, if you can find this slide, you can then uncover these boxes and work out the answer, see if you got it right. And then that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. And hopefully that's been useful to you. If you've got any questions, then please let me know. All right, thanks year 12. See you soon.